Hi, so we're going to be starting in a child's pose today. So we're going to bring our two big toes together, send our knees just over hip width apart or as wide as our yoga mat. We're going to send our arms out nice and long as we melt our chest and our belly towards our mat. We can either bring our head to rest here on the ground. You can keep your elbows lifted if you want that little bit of a stretch through your shoulders, or you can go ahead and guide the elbows to the ground just to relax a little bit here. And if you would prefer not to have your head on the ground, you could perhaps cross your forearms and rest your forehead. We're just going to take this quiet moment just at the beginning of our class, just to connect with our breath, to turn our attention inward, and just find that presence. So just breathing at your own rate, your own rhythm here, but perhaps beginning to notice the sensations of your breath. So maybe the expansion of your rib cage as you inhale, maybe the coolness or the warmth of your breath as you exhale. And we can perhaps start to add a little bit of depth to our breath now as we inhale. Let's draw it that little bit deeper as we take a full yogic breath. Really noticing how our ribs expand as we inhale deep. And a nice, slow, long release of the breath. Maybe this is your first time just pausing today. Just embracing the present moment. And when you're ready, we're going to start to lift our head off of our arms or off of the ground and just start to walk our hands towards our body. And as we rise up, let's just guide our knees back together so we can come to sit on our heels and find our little heron pose here. I'm just going to turn to face. So we're sat up on our heels and we have a nice tall spine. So we've got that length from our tailbone right up and out through the crown of our head. We're going to bring our left hand just to frame the outside of our left thigh there. And we're going to inhale to lift our right arm up and overhead. Maybe we can bring those fingers just to reach the ear. And as we start to then guide our right ear down to our right shoulder, we'll start to feel some length along the side of our neck on our left side. As we begin to start to release and unlock any tension we might have there. Release that side as we switch to the other side, right fingertips meet the ground. Releasing the head, bringing our left fingertips down to meet the right. We're going to start to tuck our chin into our chest, lengthening along the back of our neck. Little chin to chest here. And we can perhaps keep it still, or if it feels good, maybe draw some semicircles from side to side. So we're all about releasing tension through the neck and the shoulders today, which is great, especially if you're someone that sits a lot, maybe at a computer or at a desk. Coming back to center, bringing everything back in. With an inhale, let's lift our arms up and overhead, interlacing our fingers and turning our palms to face the ceiling. Taking a little lean over to the left-hand side, followed by the right. Coming back to center, we're going to keep our arms stretched out nice and long as we start to then guide our palms forward as we round through our spine. So we're going to reach and lengthen with our arms as we round through our spine. And then we're going to do the reverse. So we're going to draw our hands up and back, pulling our little fingers back to open through our chest as we arch here. And then releasing our hands. We're going to find our way into our tabletop now. So coming onto all fours, bringing our knees underneath our hips, our wrists underneath our shoulders. Beginning to mobilize the spine a little bit here. So introducing our cat-cow as we inhale. Let's drop our belly low, lifting our tailbone up, bringing our gaze forwards. As we exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking our tailbone back in. Inhale to open. Maybe we can add a little shoulder roll as we come up. And exhale to close, and feel free to explore as you move in and out. So we can maybe add a few little side to side motions here, a nice roll of the shoulders, whatever feels good. Just moving in and out, finding your rhythm, exploring the movement. And then slowly beginning to come back to center. We're going to find our tabletop here, and we're going to move into our puppy pose. So we're going to lengthen through our arms. So we're going to stretch our arms out towards the top of our mat. So reaching our fingertips. Once we're there, we're going to ground through the heel of our hands and melt our heart right down towards the ground. And we don't have to reach the ground. We don't have to bring our head to the earth if that isn't for you. We're keeping our knees stacked underneath our hips, or our hips stacked over our knees, whichever way round. Maybe bringing the tops of the arms in line with the ears as we stretch out through our shoulders. Really grounding through our hands now, using them to help lift us back up. We're going to bring our hands just back underneath our shoulders to find that tabletop as we start to come into our thread the needle. So starting on our left side, so really channeling our way through that left hand. With an inhale, we're going to guide our right fingertips all the way up. So a little bit of a twist here. Maybe our gaze tracks that thumb. As we exhale, threading that needle. So guiding the hand all the way underneath the left arm there, and guiding our ear and our shoulder down to the ground. So we have that right palm facing the ceiling. We can keep that left hand where it is, or maybe we can add some length, lengthening through the left arm, coming onto the fingertips to open through our shoulder and our chest. And maybe we can do the same with our leg. We can send that left leg out behind us, coming onto our toes, pressing through the heel. So we have that lovely long line all the way through, from our heel to our fingertips. Starting to open and create some space here. With control, let's guide that knee back underneath, followed by the hand as we push up, come back into our tabletop, and we'll repeat on the other side. So when you're ready, channeling our way through that right hand, left fingertips open and rise. As we release our breath, let's guide that left hand underneath the right, and we repeat on the other side. Right fingertips extend, coming up onto the fingers to open through our chest, and extending that back leg, coming onto the toes, pressing through the heel to find that length. Guiding the knee back underneath, followed by the hand as we meet back in our tabletop. A few rounds of cat-cow once again, maybe adding a little bit more depth as we open. Maybe a bit more of a tuck as we close, really drawing our navel up towards our spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more. Inhale to open up. And exhale to close. Coming back to center. We're going to guide our hands that little bit further away once again. And then we're going to bring ourselves onto our belly. So we're going to lower ourselves down, shuffling our elbows that little bit further forward, bringing them underneath our shoulders. And as we rise and lift our chest, and we find our Sphinx pose here. So pressing and grounding through our elbows, extending through the crown and the top of our head, as we find our powerful and strong Sphinx pose here. We're going to try not to collapse too much and squeeze our shoulders. We're going to keep that extension here in our Sphinx. Releasing our chest down to the ground now. We're going to bring the right hand underneath the shoulder. We're going to send our left arm out by our side. We're going to turn our gaze to face the right hand side and start to bend through that right knee and guide the right foot all the way over to the left hand side as we open up. So a little bit more of an intense shoulder stretch here. Into our scorpion pose. With control, let's bring that knee back underneath as we guide that left hand in and send our right arm out. I've positioned my mat a little bit too close to the wall today. As we repeat on the other side, so bending through that left knee and guiding it up and over, opening through that right shoulder. And with control, bringing everything back to center. We're going to release that right hand to the front. We're going to cross our forearms over and come into a little snake pose as we lay our forehead, rest our forehead just on our forearms here. Just let our arms take the weight of our head. And let the yoga mat take the weight of our body. As we sink and soften here. And just allowing our breath just to come back to its natural rhythm. Maybe beginning to let go of any tightness or tension we're holding through our legs. Just noticing the gentle expansion of our belly and our ribs as we breathe. Perhaps beginning to loosen and soften our jaw as we start to relax our face and let go of any tightness or tension we might be holding through our faces. And feel free to stay here for as long as you need. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you at the next one.